If you want the Falcons to win the NFC South, spam ATL in the comment section. And if that's not incentive enough, our producer today, Trace Gerard, is a Saints fan. So drop an extra ATL just for him. Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here with the latest trade rumors surrounding Atlanta after the wide receiver Jefferson trade. Oh, how I wish it was a different Jefferson receiver. But after the Van Jefferson trade, I think we could see some more moves for Atlanta because we are getting a good sign that they are going to be buyers going into the NFL trade deadline, not sellers. So with that being said, let's check out two more trade targets for Atlanta. Starting on the defensive end of the football, Danielle Hunter, the edge rusher from the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings stink, and they could be big-time sellers, and this would be an all-in move on 2023, right? This would be Terry Fontenot going, hey, as long as I've been a GM here, we have lost more games than we have won. Well, as it currently stands, we're 3-2. We have the second easiest schedule the rest of the season. Let's go add a legit number one edge rusher and wreak havoc in the remaining NFC South games we have because Danielle Hunter is an absolute game changer. 5 games into the season, he's already at 6 sacks. I mean, think about it. You could combine pretty much all the other Falcons pass rushers, and they're not getting to 6 sacks. So why go trade for Danielle Hunter? Let me tell you why. This secondary has played extremely well so far. C.J. Stroud complimented it after the game on Sunday. The results and the numbers speak for themselves. So if you compare a great secondary that forces quarterbacks to hold on to the ball just for an extra half second because no one's open yet, well, that extra half second or 3/4 of a second, that's all it takes for Danielle Hunter to beat his man and to sack the quarterback. And now you're going to have a legit defense that could go win some playoff games. The Falcons' pass rush so far has been honestly probably what we expected, right? A pass rush by committee with not one player standing out, but a good group effort. I mean, this is a group project where everyone actually contributes. But trading for Danielle Hunter is trading for like the smartest girl in the class that's going to do all the work for you, and everyone's going to get an A. Those numbers right there, they're not going to cut it in the playoffs. That's not going to be a defense that defeats Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy in the NFC Championship game. Danielle Hunter, on the other hand, he could be a game wrecker, right? He could be a guy where if the Falcons find themselves leading in the fourth quarter at the Link or over in the Bay Area, Danielle Hunter brings down Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts on 4th and 4 to stun the home crowd and to send Atlanta to Las Vegas. That might be a bit ahead of my skis, but I think Danielle Hunter has that capabilities. The Vikings, they're going to be sellers. If they are 2-5 at the trade deadline, and there's already reports coming out that Kirk Cousins could get moved, if Captain Kirk gets traded, Danielle Hunter is as good as gone. There's no point in holding on to Danielle Hunter, who's on a 1-year contract, by the way, so he's only got the next X amount of games remaining until he's a free agent. There's no point in holding on to him if you're also going to trade Kirk Cousins and you're going to put Justin Jefferson, which they already have on IR, and maybe they shut him down for the rest of the season if you trade Cousins and Hunter. So here's my trade idea. Danielle Hunter for a 3rd-round pick. We saw earlier this offseason Minnesota trade their other edge rusher, Zadarius Smith, for some 5th and 6th-round pick swaps. A 3rd-rounder, it seems pretty fair. It might cost you a 2nd, but it definitely won't cost you a 1st. So if you were Terry Fontenot, would you trade a 3rd-rounder for Danielle Hunter? Or do you think I am getting ahead of myself and Atlanta's not a legit team and they're not going to make any noise, so there's no point in trading a 3rd-rounder away for a guy when this team's not going to make any fuss in the playoffs? That's your argument for no. I'm not in that camp, but if you are, let me know in the comment section. For me, yes. You have an opportunity here to make some noise, right? The Falcons have been at the bottom or next to the bottom of the NFC South since 2018, essentially, right? I mean, a couple of good years at the end of Matt Ryan's reign, but the last 3 years, losers. Losing more than they are winning. So let's go continue winning, and that's going to get done with Danielle Hunter. Now, today's show is being supported by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports app where all you have to do is pick more or less for 2 to 6 player stat projections and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. Prize Picks is super simple and user-friendly. I spend 1 to 2 minutes on the app every Sunday morning making my selections. So if you're in the Oval Office or you're on your way to the game, get on Prize Picks and start making some money. This week on Prize Picks, I'm keeping it simple. Bijan Robinson, more than 76.5 rushing yards against the Commanders. And I'll also take more on Drake London, 44.5 receiving yards after we saw him go off for 75 plus last week against Houston. I'm taking more on both of those guys. Moving on to my second trade target for ATL. What about Mecole Hardman, the New York Jets wide receiver? Stick with me for a moment, and then you can leave the video if you're not buying what I'm selling. But Ian Rappoport tweeted out earlier that the Falcons, this is Ian Rappoport still, but the Falcons have traded for wide receiver Van Jefferson. We all know that. That's not new information. So why are we talking about Mecole Hardman, right? Atlanta traded for a wide receiver. They got Van Jefferson, a day 3 pick swap, right? A very low reward, low ceiling, high reward type trade. Well, earlier in the day, Jeremy Fowler tweeted out the Jets are looking at options for Mecole Hardman, including a potential trade. Hardman was inactive and has not been in the plans despite signing a 1-year, $4 million free agency deal. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't make sense. You're just addicted to trading for wide receivers, and I partially am. I can agree to that. But I think there could be an upside to adding another wide receiver to this unit and really going all in offensively. Allow me to explain why I think that in just a second. But make sure to subscribe if you're not already. We're going to keep you guys in the loop all season long like we have been so far. So continue to sub for dubs. Don't miss a thing when you're subscribed to the channel. If you were to make this trade, that would mean you trade a 2025 6th-round pick for Mecole Hardman and Van Jefferson. Let's do it, right? I mean, let's talk about trading all these useless day 3 draft picks away, and let's have some fun on offense. You look at Mecole Hardman the last 4 seasons, when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs as a number 3, he was putting up 693 yards. That's behind Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce on a good day. Meanwhile, with the Jets this year, he's done nothing. 1 grab for 6 yards. He's looking for a new home. Now, the Atlanta's wide receiver room is 3 deep, but I think it's just that, 3 deep. So why would you trade for Mecole Hardman? Because of what I just said. If an injury were to happen to any of those 3 beautiful faces on screen, you're in a jam, right? If you need to get yourself through a 4-week stretch, if something, God forbid, happened to the capital of England, or Matt Collins or Van Jefferson went down, you would like to have a little bit extra depth and security. Plus, Hardman brings you some great special teams abilities. He's a dynamic punt returner, and I am looking for a big boom play on the special team side for this offense. The only hiccup I have to trading for Mecole Hardman is there's only one football. And we finally saw Kyle Pitts and Drake London play well at the same time. I mean, this past Sunday, both Pitts and London went over 75 yards in the same game for the first time in the duo's overlapping career in Atlanta. I would like to see that trend continue. And if you add more mouths to feed, the targets might go down for guys like Kyle Pitts. But if you want to get some extra depth in the wide receiver room and bring a big play potential in a playoff game where you're tied and you're like, hey, Mecole is super duper freaking fast, just run straight. And Desmond, we know you've got a cannon of an arm. Let's see what happens. If that's all you get out of Mecole Hardman is a 50-yard touchdown bomb in the NFC wildcard round to secure a playoff win, I'll trade a 7th-round pick for that. So would you trade a 2025 7th-round pick, the one you just got, by the way, for Van Jefferson? So basically you trade a 6th-rounder for Van Jefferson and Mecole Hardman, and all I'm selling is one huge play from Mecole Hardman in the playoffs in the 4th quarter to help secure a win. I would trade a 7th-round pick for that. I can't guarantee that's going to happen, but I can kind of smell it, kind of taste it. So let's make that happen. But let me know, should the Falcons trade for Mecole Hardman? Type T for trade, type P for pass. Give me your honest opinion in the comment section. I'm definitely getting a bit trade happy right now. I'm kind of drunk on the trades, no doubt about it. But this will be pretty fun. You can't lie. With that being said, I think we're pretty much out of trade ideas. But like I said earlier, that would be trading a 6th-rounder for Mecole Hardman and Van Jefferson. Let's do it. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's show. Unless we have some more things to get to here, producer Trace. No, hate the Saints. Subscribe to Falcons today. Like I said at the top of the video, Trace Gerard hosts our Saints content, so he won't even like me saying this next part. So if I get muted midway through, you know why. Go over to Saints Now. Drop an ATL in the comment section of one of his videos.